tap and share. So let us begin to discuss our history. When we talk about Obanyanto, Yasewebu, and Edo Isiagbon, what does it mean? And also, I also want to talk about this issue of how late Chief Doctor Jacob Wadia Igadeva, what was his opinion about the origin of the Benin's? There was the video when I watched, I saw people were talking about that Jacob Igadeva said the Benin people came from Ife. That is not true. That is a fallacy and that is propaganda. So we're going to be looking at three basic things today. When the Benin says Obanyato Yasewebu, Obanyato se Ewebu, what does it mean? Obanyato se Ewo Orebu, what does it mean? The land, the Oba owns the land all to the European country. What does it mean? Then also Edo or Isiagbon. Edo is the candle of the world. So what does it mean? We're going to be looking at these topics. Now, first of all, let me quickly make it very clear that there's never a time that Jacob Wadia told us that the Benin people came from Ile-Ife. And the Ife he was talking about is not the Ile-Ife in the present day Osun State. No, he was referring to Uhe at Kogi State. So we'll try as possible to be debunking them. So we're going to be looking at three basic things today. When we say Edo or Isiagbon, what does it mean? When an average Benin man or an average Edo man says Edo Isiagbon, what does it mean? And when an average Benin man says Obanyato se Ewo Orebu, what does it mean? Then I also want to look at the opinion, how late Dr. Jacob Wadia Igadeva described the origin of the Benin's. Please power tap and share. Please power tap and share. Please power tap and share. And also, for the Esan people, those Esan people who are claiming that they are not Benin's, but they say they are Edo, you guys don't know what you are saying. When you say you are not Benin, you are Edo, you are saying the same thing. And I've said it before, that in history, Edo was a name of a slave of Ogefa. There was something that guy did for Prince Ogun, who later became Oba Ewale the First. It was Oba Ewale the First that introduced that name Edo to the Benin's, and it was a name of an Ogefa slave who saved the life of Oba Ewale the First. Oba Ewale the First. That was why today the Edo people, the Benin's, are also known as Edo. Edo is a name of a person, but it was the Oba Ewale the First that changed it, that gave that name Edo to the Benin's. So when we say we are Benin's, you say you are not Benin, but you say you are Edo. They are the same thing. The people who are Benin's are also people who are Edo. I've seen some people who will say, I am not Benin, I am Edo. Edo and Benin, they are referred to the same people. So that's one correction that I want to do. That's one correction I want to do. When you say you are Edo, automatically you are also Benin. That is that. Then when we say Obanyato, Obanyato Sewebo, what does it mean? When we say Obanyato Yasewebo, Obanyato Sewebo, what does it mean? Something transpired. If you look at the beliefs, of the Benin's, when the Benin's believe in a belief, something transpired. There is something that will make the Benin's to say Edo Isiagbon. There are things that will make the Benin's to say Obanyato Sewebo. There are things that will make the Benin's to say Bedo. So there is a misconception. The reason why I will be talking about Obanyato Sewebo, the reason why I want to talk about that issue today is a misconception that is going on from Mike. And also, let me quickly inform some of our brothers. When you decide to keep silent, when you feel that your history is being distorted, that is good for you. You can be silent. But those that want to react, those that want to do the debunking because they feel that their history has been distorted, you guys should not come to people's platform and be telling them to ignore that the person is seeking attention. That is wrong. If you want to be silent, be silent. Those that want to challenge people who are trying to distort our history, let them be. Okay? Don't come to my platform, and contribute. Don't come to my platform and come and be telling us how we are going to be responding to people. I do not belong to any of your cabal or your alliance. I'm not interested. I'm on my own. I don't need people. I don't need crack. I personally can debunk people who are trying to distort our history. Okay, so let me give you an clip of what a late Chief Doctor Jacob Uwajai Igarewa, his own view on the origin of Benin. Look at what he said. Such an eminent writer as late Chief Doctor Jacob Uwajai Igarewa even suggested that the Edo people migrated, according to late Chief Doctor Jacob Uwajai Igarewa. He suggested that the Edo people, when we say the Edo people, we're talking about the Beninese, we're talking about the Esa, we're talking about the Esako, we're talking about the Onwans. You understand? So what he said was this, that late Chief Doctor Jacob Uwajai Igarewa of blessed memory said that on the origin of the Edo people, he said that the Edo people migrated from Egypt. The Edo people migrated from Egypt, made a short halt, that is a break, in Sudan. Then at Ile-Ife, the Ile-Ife he was talking about was not that is the Uhe. It is not the Ile-Ife in Osun State that he was referring to. That is another distortion of our history. According to late Chief Dr. Jacob Uwajai Igarewa, on the origin of the Edo people, he said they migrated from Egypt. Made a short break in Sudan, then at Ile-Ife. And he said the Ile-Ife he was referring to is Uhe in modern day Kogi State. So when you see anybody telling you that Jacob Uwajai Igarewa said that the Edo people came from Ile-Ife, he was not referring to Ile-Ife in Osun State. He was referring to the Ile-Ife in modern state Kogi State, and he termed it Uhe, Ile-Ife in Uhe. Then at Ife, and finally came to the present land which they are today. Which what they are today. Now, I am not trying to say whether Jacob Igarewa is right or wrong. That is not what I'm saying. Now, okay, Uhe, U-H-E, Uhe, U-H-E, Ile-Ife, Uhe, U-H-E, in modern day Kogi State. I am not here to say whether what Jacob Igarewa said was right or wrong on where the Benin people or the Edo people migrated from. No. What I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to quote what he said, because there has been a misquotation of what late Chief Doctor Jacob Uwajai Igarewa said about how the Edo people migrated from. And when we talk about the Edo people, we are referring to the Beninese. And when we talk about the Edo people, and I told you before, so many people will say they are not Benin, but they are not Benin, but they are Edo. When you agree that you are Edo, you are also Benin. That is another distortion of our history. The Beninese are the same thing as the Edo people. They are the same thing. I am not here to say whether what Jacob Igarewa said is right. But what I'm here to say is to quote exactly what Dr. Jacob Igarewa said. What he said was that he suggested late Chief Dr. Jacob Uwajai Igarewa suggested that the Edo people migrated from Egypt. They made a short halt in Sudan. Then at Ile-Ife, which is Uhe, in present day Kogi State. It is not the Ile-Ife in present day Osun State. That is what he said. Then he now said, finally, they now came to the land. It was a suggestion. It is not a fact per se. It was a suggestion. That was what he said. I was watching a live video where I heard Mr. President. There's a guy that calls Mr. President on TikTok. That is the reason why I'm doing this thing. That Jacob Igarewa never said that the Beninese came from Ile-Ife. He was not referring to the Ile-Ife in Osun State. He was referring to the Ile-Ife in Uhe, which is the present day Kogi State. And this is what he said. He said the Edo people migrated from Egypt. Where they were going, they stopped at Sudan. They also stopped at Ile-Ife, Iwe, present-day Kogi State, and finally to where they are today. And he said it was a suggestion. He only suggested. That was a suggestion that he made. So the reason why I'm saying is that there are people who are trying to distort our history by misinterpreting what Jacob Egadeva said. You understand? They try to distort our history. So that is that. And I want to send this message to the Esan people. Some Esan people will say they are not Bini, but they are Edo. That Edo is a name of a Binima who was a slave to Ogefa. There was something that Edo did for Oba Eware the first, before he became, when he was a prince. There was something he did. He saved the life of Oba Eware before he ascended the throne. And that name, Edo, is a name of a person that is now being used to classify the Beninese. And he did that in honor, in recognition that Edo saved his life. So when we say we are Edos, it's the same thing as Benin. So for these people, let me help you to lie. When you want to lie that you are not Benin, do not also claim that you are not Edo. Because when you claim you are not Benin, but you are Edo, you are misquoting yourself. So that is that. Then let us go to the other issue I want to talk about. I watched my talking about Obanyato Sewebo. It's a belief of the Edo people. And there's something that it means. And there's something that transpires that made the Beninese to say Obanyato Sewebo. Something transpire. We are not saying that the land in Italy okay, thank you, Philip Igareba, thank you. Okay, thank you for that. Yes, it was a servant. Thank you, you are right. It was not a slave. Thank you for that correction. Phil Igareba, thank you. I just wanted to use that word so that they will not look as if we are trying to. Yes, it was a servant, it was not a slave, because slaves are people they were captured. All right, thank you very much, my brother. I show that you guys are with us. Thank you very much. It was a servant. Edo was a servant of Ogefa. Thank you, my brother. God bless you. So that is that. So when we also talk about Edo or Isiagbon, the cradle of black civilization, we are not saying that the whole world came from Benin. No, there is something that it means. Oba Nyato se Ewo Ebo. That is the correct belief. Oba Nyato, Oba OBA, Oba Nya YAN, Oto OTO, Se SE, Ewo EVBO, Ewo, Se Ewebo. That is EBO, Ebo. That's how the Benin pronounce the white people. So what does that thing mean? We're going to be looking at it today. So something transpired in Benin when the Edo people have certain beliefs. Something must have transpired that will not make them to not say, okay, or Edo is Siagbon. Something transpired that not make the Benin people to say Oba Nyato Sewebo. Something transpired. It is a belief that is used to serve as a remembrance that something transpired. That's why you see the Beninese using those words. When I watch a man talk about the issue of Oba Nyato Sewebo. No, I want to do a correction today. When we say Oba Nyato Sewebo, what does it mean? Something transpired. Something transpired. That's why today we have Esa. Something transpired. That's why today we have Onwa. Something transpired. That's why we have the Urobos. Something transpired. That's why we Shekiris. Something transpired. That's why we have the Soko. But basically, when you trace them to their source, the source is from Benin. That is the basic thing that we want to establish. The source. Yes, it's suggested. It didn't say the Beninese migrated from Egypt. It was a suggestion that was made by late Chief Dr. Jacob Wadia Igareva. He suggested, it was a suggestion he made that they came from Egypt. From Egypt, they found themselves in Sudan. From Sudan, they found themselves in Ile-Ife Uhe, in present-day Kogi State, and later in this present-day land where they are today. So that is what Jacob Igareva suggested. That's what he did. It was a suggestion that he made. So for those of us who are trying to defend and protect and preserve our tradition, this will also help you. I'm geared to give you arsenal weapons that you can also use to counter them. Those who want to be silent, about the distortion of our history can be silent. For people like us, we need people to equip us with history, with facts and figures concerning the history of the Benin people. So that please power tap and share, power tap and share, power tap and share. Today we're going to be looking at the belief of what led to the belief of the Edo people, Oba Nyanto Sewebo. What transpired? Why is it that today we use this? The Beninese we always say Oba Nyanto Sewebo, Oba Nyanto Sewebo, Oba Nyanto Sewebo, Oba Nyanto Sewebo. What does it mean? There is something transpired that made the Benin to say Oba Nyanto Yasewebo or Oba Nyanto Sewebo. We are not saying that the Oba of Benin, His Royal Majesty, is the owner of all the land in the whole world. No, something transpired that led to that. Then also something also transpired that made the Benin to say Edo Oe Isiagbon. Edo Oe Isiagbon. Edo Oe Isiagbon. Idio Edo Ore Oe Isiagbon. O-R-O-E E-C-I-S-I. Then Isiagbon. What does it mean? What transpired? What is the message that the Beninese are trying to convey when they use these words? What does it mean? We are not saying that the Oba of Benin owns all the land in the whole world. That's not what it means. Something transpired that make the Benin to not attempt to coin this thing. Oba Nyanto Sewebo. They coined it. Something transpired. Something transpired. So we're going to be looking at what transpired today. We're going to then, if you have enough time, I will go details about the history of the Urohbos. Let me tell you today that if you look at the Urohbos, let me tell you another thing about the Great Benin before I continue. Let me tell you something about the Great Benin before I continue. So I'm going to be looking at them. Something transpired. Thank you for power tapping. Yes, now, yes, don't worry. Yes. He said, do your research. The Beninese who are Edo are old, original, traditional Israel from Egypt. No, don't worry. We are not talking about I'm not talking about the history of the origin of the Beninese. No, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, Oracle, is that there's a misquotation of what Jacob Egadeva said about the origin of the Beninese. That is what I'm trying to do. I'm not talking about the origin. We'll go into that one. Today, I always talking about the origin of the Edo people. What is the opinion of Jacob Egadeva, what he said? Because people are misinterpreting what Jacob Egadeva said. That Jacob Egadeva said that the Benin people came from Ile-Ife. So I just quoted it. Oracle, are you with me? I just quoted it just to let people know. Just to let people know that this is what Jacob Egadeva said about the migration of the Edo people. He said they migrated from Egypt. From Egypt, they got to Sudan. From Sudan, they got to Ile-Ife Uhe in Kogi State and finally landed in where they are today. And that is how Jacob Egadeva described the migration of the Edo people. And it was a suggestion. He suggested. It was not 100% sure. When Jacob Egadeva said that the Benin people, the Edo people migrated from Egypt to Sudan, from Sudan to Ile-Ife in Uhe, and now to this present day Benin, it was a suggestion. He only made a suggestion that could be where the Benin people migrated for. I am not going to talk about the origin of the migration of the origin of the Edo people. No, I only just want to do that. This is I just want to quote what he said, so that people should stop misquoting what Egadeva said. That's what I'm talking about. But my main concern today is when we say Oba Nyanto Sewebo, what does it mean in Benin? When we say Edo or Isiagbon, what does it mean? What does it mean in Benin? Something transpired. So I'm trying to look at what transpired that made the Benin people to always say Oba Nyanto Sewebo, Oba Nyanto Sewebo, Oba Nyanto Sewebo. What sunu? I mean, not sunu. And I mean where the Beninese today now will be saying Oba Nyanto Sewebo. And people are trying to misquote the belief of the Benin people. So that's what I look at. So that is it. No, we're not looking at that. Don't worry. We'll look at that one. Simple. We'll look at that one. The origin of the Benins, the Edos. Don't worry. We'll discuss that one. But what I'm saying is that try and listen. The first thing I've talked about today is when Jacob Egareva shared his opinion about the origin of the Edo people. He said he suggested Jacob Egareva, late Chief Doctor Jacob Uwadia Igareva suggested that the Benin people migrated from Egypt to Sudan, from Sudan to Ile-Ife in Uwe, in Kogi State, and there in this present day where they are today. It was a suggestion made by Jacob Igareva. That's what I want us to know, so that when people are misquoting Jacob Igareva, we should tell them that is wrong. That is the first thing I'll be able to establish today. Are you getting me, sir? That's what I want to say. Then the other thing I also want to discuss is that the Eastern people will say they are not Benin, but they are Edo. Edo and Benin are the same. Edo and Benin are the same. In short, Edo is the name of a person that was given to the Benin people by Obaeware the First. And who was Edo? Edo was a servant of Ogefa. There was something he did. He saved the life of Obaeware the First when he was a prince. So when I want to stop some people from fooling themselves. Some people will say will not be Benin, will be Edo. Edo and Benin, they are the same thing. I will go in details, not today. Not today. So that is that we're going to be looking at today. So I hope that one is clear. And another thing I also want to talk about is from Egypt, Sudan, Ile-Ife, Kogi State, and where they are today. That was what he said. So please, that is one thing that we should have. The Jacob Igareva never said that the Benin people came from Ile-Ife. He always said that they made a stop, a halt. It's a stop over. I say, person they work, don't tell you, go still rest for one particular place. And the Ile-Ife he was talking about is the one in Kogi State. It's not the Ile-Ife in Osun State. That is what I'm able to establish. Then another thing I want us to know is this. I also want us to know that people are also complaining that the Benis are saying this one come from us. This one come from us. The Benin is claiming superiority over other tribes. No, we the Benis, we are not claiming superiority. We are not claiming that we are superior over other tribes. No, we are just trying to narrate history. We are just trying to narrate what history says. We are not saying that we are superior. We are not trying to marginalize other tribes. It is what history says that we are just saying, that we are just narrating or discussing. Then another thing I want us to know is this. I want us to also know that this ancient Benin today, there are Benin people who left the ancient Benin. They left. There are tribes that came from Benin. Yes, it is history who says so. We are not the one who are saying it. It is history. So when we say somebody came from Benin, we are only just looking at the origin. We are not trying to claim superiority. We are not trying to say that we are more superior than other tribes. It is what history says. We are talking about the source. Are you getting it? So today, another thing I want us to also look into is that I will be talking about ancient Benin in diaspora. Ancient Benin in what? In diaspora. Diaspora is Diaspora. Diaspora. Ancient Benin in diaspora. So we're going to be looking at, when we talk about ancient Benin in diaspora, I'm talking about people that migrated, people, communities, clans that are not in existence today, but they are no longer in Benin. There are tribes that are no longer in Benin today. But if you check their origin, when we talk about origin, the beginning, where they come from, the history. I've said it before. There's the history and origin, where you first begin your life before. Thank you. Power tap. Esa migrated from Nupe, not all of them. Not all of the Esan Nupe, yes, Miss Blood. Some of the people today. That is why I have said it before. There was a lecture I delivered when I said, uh, how does what is the criteria that you can use to describe the tribe of a person? I said there is language, there is name. I also talked about culture. Then I also talked about your ancestry. When you look at the ancestry, the ancestral, the blood type, the ancestry of the Esan people, they are mainly from Benin. There are other Esan people who came from Nupe. Yes, it is true. But not all Esan people came from Nupe. I hope that one is very clear now. That is what history says. It's not all the Esan people. Not all the Esan people came from Nupe. There are some people today who are not Esan. If you look at their forefathers came from their forefathers came from Nupe. They came from Nupe. Yes, it is true. But it is not all Esan people who are from Nupe. That's what I want you to know. Yes, there are people who are not claiming Esan today. If you look by birth, they are Esan. But by ancestral, by blood type, their forefathers are from Nupe. Yes, because in the olden days, the Nupe people, from Nupe people, you see it there. You see it there. So that is it. You guys want to come with this thing again? Maybe come up for year in your red book. That is how people go about misquoting what Jacob Igaleva didn't say. Jacob Igaleva did not tell us that the Benin people, the Edo people came from Ile-Ife. And the Ile-Ife was referring to is the one in Uhe. When I come up for a person who do something, I want to cause distraction. A good now, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not going to do now for that side. Go on your live video. Don't come here and confuse people. Now, another thing I want us to look at is before we get to Obanyanto Sewebo, what does it mean? What transpired that make the Benin to say Obanyanto Sewebo? What transpired that make the Benin to say Edo or Isiagbon? Or maybe not soon. So we're going to be looking at all those things too. So now, first of all, there are tribes that their origin is traceable to Benin. There are tribes that their origin is traceable to Benin, and those tribes, okay, they are Ile-Ife in Kogi State are also Yoruba. Yes, we know, but what I'm trying to establish to you, Oga, you try and listen, is that the Ile-Ife that Igaleva was talking about is in Kogi State. Whether there are Yorubas in Kogi State, that's another different topic. Okay? You don't understand now. So I also want to let me also drop this note before I continue. There are tribes that are believed to have migrated from the Benin, from the ancient Benin. We're going to be listing them. Now, when the Ekwere people, we have the Ekwere. The Ekwere has told us clearly that they are from the ancient Benin. They know their history. The reason why the Ekwere people, number one is Ekwere. Ekwere is an ancient Benin in diaspora. The Ekwere is an ancient what? It's an ancient Benin in diaspora. Number one is Ekwere, the Ekwere people. Then number two is the Ijaw people. They are ancient Benin in diaspora. That means they've gone to live on their own. They left that Benin, the administrative quarter. They've left. They've gone to establish their settlement. But when you trace their origin is traceable to the ancient Benin. That is what we're trying to talk about here. So we're going to be listing them. Ancient Benin in diaspora. Ancient Benin in diaspora. Number one, we're looking at the Esan people. Number one is the Esan people. Then number two, we're looking at the Ekwere people. Then number three, we're looking at the Ijaw people. These are ancient Benin in diaspora. That means they've gone on their own separate ways to live. Yes, you are right. It is not all Ijaw, sir. Yes, you are right. Yes, you are right. I didn't say all. Do you see I say all the Ijaw people? I said the Esan people. Do you see me saying all the Esan people? I said Esan people. Plural. Pupo means plural. I didn't say all the Esan people. because there are pockets of some people who came from Nupe. So I know what I'm talking about. You just listen. They were the Equator people. I didn't say all the Equator. We're going to be looking at, when we look at each on the some people, you will know. When we talk about the Equator people, we will know whether it's all the Equator or some of them. Okay? Then we also have the Akoko Edo. The Akoko Edo people. They are ancient Benin's in diaspora. That means they left Benin and they have gone their own separate way to become settlement of their own. But when you trace their origin, they are from the ancient Benin. That's what we're trying to look about. Then the next one, we're going to be looking at Onwa people. Onwa people. We're going to be looking at Onwa people. They are also ancient Benin in diaspora. Now, all these things, they are history that says so. Their history, and they left Benin as a result of what they had intrapersonal crisis. In the olden days, brothers were fighting one another. They were fighting one another basically for two reasons: for selfishness and for greediness. You see brothers fighting themselves, trying to obtain superiority from one another. So when we say Akon, we say the Urhobos are the same thing with Benin, and we said we fought with one another. Yes, the fight was for superiority. The struggle was for supremacy. The struggle was for dominance. You see them fighting one another. Yes, that is in the old days. Then we're also going to be looking at we talked about Onwa, Akoko Edo, then the Esako people, they are also ancient Benin in diaspora. What I'm doing is this, that I want you people to know today that there are some tribes that migrated, that is to live. When we talk about migration, basically is talking about migration. Migration has to do with the movement of people, either in or out. When the movement is in, we say immigration. When the movement is out, we're talking about migration. So today, there are people who migrated from the ancient Benin. They left Benin and formed their own settlement. But when you trace their history, you will trace that history back to the ancient Benin. And I want to list them for you, those tribes in Nigeria today that came from there. That came from yes, Benin are travelers from the one. Let me tell you, in the olden days, our forefathers were what? They were travelers. They were settlers. They were immigrant and emigrant. That's what they call, in the olden days, that's what they call migration and settlement. Migration and settlement. People will just leave. They leave one point and move to another point. The reason why they were doing it probably because the land is fertile. They were looking for fertile land for farming. People migrated from one place to another for security purpose. Go and read your secondary school economics under migration. You look at the reason for migration. Why would people move from one place to another? They migrated from one place to another for greener pasture. They migrated from one place to another for fertile soil, for agriculture. People migrated from one place to another for security. These are some of the reasons. So in the olden days, migration and settlement, they were husbands and wife. So when you live in a particular place and you are tired of it, what you have to do, you will leave that place and go and create your own settlement. If you look at places like Igobazuwa, Uronigbe, Udo, these are ancient towns in Benin. They are of significance in Benin. So that's what we're trying to talk about. It says not Benin, it is Igodomi, Godo. Onome, you people should go and read books. It is not Benin, it's ancient Benin. Now, I will also be talking about Idu, Igodomi, Godo. There's what they call metamorphose. That name, metamorphose, and that ended up Ubini. From Ubini, we have Idu, we have other one. They migrated and they metamorphosed and ended in Benin. So when we talk about the Benin, we're talking about the Igodomi, Godo. What's the problem? On our DST, we go and read the books. We'll get there. How the name metamorphosed from Idu Godomido, from Ubini, before you now get to Benin, before you now get to Edo. All these things are the same place, different names. So when we talk about Benin, we're referring to the current Benin in Edo State. Do you have any other place again? We say it's not Benin, it is the Godomi area. Where is the Godomi area? Is it not in Edo State? So the Benin we're talking about, is it not in Edo State? It's not in the same place. And let me tell you, when you say you are not Benin, you are Edo. Benin and Edo now the same thing. Edo lived in Benin land. Edo, he lived in Benin land. So the other one I also want to talk about is the Ishakiris. The Ishakiris. The Ishakiris. We also have the Ishakiri too. We also have the Isoko people. We also have the Ika. We also have the last one is Esan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We also have Anyocha. We also have the Anocha. We have the Anyocha and Osimili people. Anyocha and Oshimili people. All these ones that I've mentioned now, all these ones that you are seeing here, all these names that I've mentioned here now, they are ancient Benin in diaspora. So take note, they are ancient Benin in the diaspora.
W P H G Q.
Okay.